Hey everybody, my name is Rebecca and I'm a military spouse, 6 years going, so I know a little bit about military spouse life. So I want to talk to you guys a bit about deployments. It's the D word that every single spouse doesn't want to hear, every single active duty member doesn't want to hear. It's just like, why? Now, but we all kind of have to go through it. Obviously, the why is the reason that they're in the military, to prepare for anything that may happen or to help out in situations that need help. So they're very important, but they are very tasking and hard on a lot of families and a lot of couples. So I kind of want to talk to you guys a bit about that because I had to go through that myself. My husband, when we first met, we dated for 6 months and it was kind of like that honeymoon stage. Everything was perfect and happy and woohoo, this is great. And then he proposed, which was fantastic. And then that night he said, "Hey babe, I'm going to Afghanistan." What? What did you just say? I'm going to Afghanistan, I'm leaving, so I'm glad we put a ring on it, essentially. I think a lot of guys do that just to kind of like keep their girlfriends, and I totally get it and it makes a lot of sense. And for us, it worked out. But yeah, so that was my experience with deployment. 6 months into our relationship, thrown into a deployment. I didn't really know much about military life either, so this was just all new to me. Being a spouse was new, that was the potential future, and it was just like, what is going on? So being thrown into it, I had to learn a lot of lessons very quickly, and I didn't have time to kind of have someone teach me. It was just thrown into the fire and hope that I survive. Here's a couple tips that I learned in my experience with deployments. The first tip that I would give you is make sure that you have a joint account. And I know you don't want to talk about finances right now. You probably just found out that your boyfriend or significant other, is gonna end up being deployed, and you don't really want to talk about money because you're kind of in a weird situation. Talk about money. Please talk about money, because you'll end up like I was, where we didn't talk about money. We just figured everything would be perfect and happy. And I had so many things happen while he was gone that I ended up really hoping really wishing that we would have had a joint account that I could have tapped into and kind of helped myself out and made him feel better that I was by myself, that he could at least help somehow. One of the things that happened was I actually had my tires blow out while I was driving down the road, and I had to go get new tires, and I personally couldn't really afford that. And so I went to the tire place just knowing I was gonna have to put it on a credit card. We didn't have a joint account. He was gonna send me money through Venmo or some weird thing. It was a mess. Thankfully, the guy at the tire place was really, really nice, and he was like, "You know what? We're gonna cover the tires for you." So once in a while you run across people that are very nice and very supportive of the military, and they will help you out, but not always, so you do need to make sure that you have a backup plan. Another thing that happened to us was there was a beehive underneath our front porch, and I ended up calling his friend to come over. We tried to hit it with a baseball bat. It was a mess. And so I had to get an exterminator, and I had to figure that whole thing out. We had just moved into this new house, and winter was coming, and I didn't know that you're supposed to winterize pipes or whatever you're supposed to do in the wintertime. I still don't fully understand it. I didn't do that. Our pipes blew, so we had to get a plumber. So there was just so many things that happened that I wish someone would have said, "Hey, before he leaves, figure out your finances. Put a joint account together and have a place where you can go to if you have an emergency to get some money," because, things happen. Life happens. So the second thing that I would make sure to do is to know everything that he does on the daily in your house if you live together, or even at his house, if you don't live together, so that you can kind of help him and be the liaison and make sure everything holds itself together and doesn't just explode and fall apart while he's gone, right? If you guys just sit down one night, make a list of everything that he does on the daily, and make sure that you can do that while he's gone. One thing that I didn't think about, I didn't account for, was the fact that we had just moved into a new house and someone needed to mow the lawn. Just kind of didn't even think about it, but that's something that he would have done. and was on his list of to-dos that wasn't on my list of to-dos. And so I ended up having the neighbor, came and helped me a couple of times, and then I had to like go and buy a lawnmower because we didn't have a lawnmower. Once again, a mess. You can tell I'm going to use that word a lot because deployments are very messy. There's nothing clean about them. They're messy. They're upsetting for both parties sometimes. It's hard. But yeah, so thankfully someone from his squadron came over, mowed the lawn, helped me out. Like I said, the neighbors pitched in a couple of times because they were actually prior military. So if you do have some people around you that can help you out, it does make it a little bit easier. Number 3, make sure you have a support system. Even if that support system is abroad, they're not with you at that base, having people that you can talk to, having people you can lean on, having people that can call an exterminator or whatever, help you out a little bit, that is super important. So make sure before he leaves that you kind of have a group of people that'll help you out. I was very blessed and lucky because I had a big squadron over there. He actually had a lot of people in his career field at that location, and that's not every base isn't like that, but at that base he did have a lot of people that could come and help me. Busy, be a busy bee, The reason why I say that is because there's going to be a lot of nights where you're just sitting at home by yourself and you start thinking about memories and how you're so sad that you're by yourself, and it can just turn into a downward spiral of being sad. If you're busy, then you have less time to think, quite honestly. When he was deployed, I was working in the daytime and I was working in the nighttime. I was working just like full-time ×2, and it kept me super busy. Obviously I was exhausted, so I would just come home, put my head on the pillow and be out, and then the weekends I would kind of have those times where I was alone and sad. But Monday through Friday I had everything planned out of what was going to happen throughout every single day, and it was like I had no time to be sad. I had no time. So that's one really big thing I would recommend, is make sure you have no time to be sad, right? Number 5, big number 5, talk to people. If you're feeling sad, if you're having a rough day, talk to people. Don't bottle it up. And I see so many spouses and significant others that'll be like, oh, everything's great, everything's wonderful, my house is clean, my dishes are done, I don't leave my laundry in the dryer overnight, no, I fold it right after it comes out. No, we don't do that. We're not perfect. We're humans. We're gonna have bad days. We're gonna have days where the house is an absolute wreck and we don't know what we're doing and we just wanna cry in our pillow, right? But if you keep that to yourself for long enough, it'll start bottling up and getting worse and worse and worse and worse until you potentially explode at your significant other and harm your relationship. Make sure that you talk to people, whether that be a friend, whether that be a parent, whether that be family members. Talk. Even if it's not even a bad day, just talk, Make sure you have those connections. Make sure you have those people you can have conversations with. And if you don't have those people, comment below and talk to me. I'm a military spouse. I would love to hear from you. If you're having a hard day, I would love to help encourage you. So comment below and let's just make a spouse community rather than being, so separate and so almost fake. Let's not be fake. Let's be honest. It sucks. It's not easy. There are times that are really, really awesome, but there are also times that are really, really hard. It's a roller coaster. So for those really hard times, just make sure you reach out and don't let it just spiral and don't let it get worse than it needs to be. Talk to people, have people help you. It goes back to making sure you have that group of people that can help you when you need it. So there's hopefully going to be more videos like this. So please comment below, like, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Check out the Sandbox Instagram page. Check out the Sandbox Facebook page. Let me just plug. You get it. Have fun. And thanks for watching.